Despite literally cracking and breaking the motherboard on this build, we'll talk about that later. This is actually one of my favorite ultra budget gaming PCs that I've ever built before, and you can copy it for yourself in like 10 minutes worth of work. Today's project is all about finding those good deals on old office PCs that some random company was trying to get rid of and throwing some upgrades in there to turn it into a capable gaming PC that can play literally any game in 2023.
I accept your challenge.
Bonus points because I turned this into a Black Panther-themed build. My son Antonio loves when I try to talk like Black Panther.
I salute you, my friend.
But yeah, you'll be able to turn this into anything that you want to if you follow this as a blueprint. And real quickly, if you're into these super budget but still aesthetic builds, then claw attack that like button down below. That way the YouTube algorithm knows what you're into. Today's video is sponsored by GVG Mall, and you probably already know that I've been using them for so long to activate Windows on a ton of my own builds. They're actually running a huge sale right now, which boosts my normal 18% discount up to 25% off if you use code ZTT18, and I'll have that linked at the top of the description. They not only have Windows keys, but also a ton of other stuff such as Office and even game keys for platforms like Steam, Origin, and Uplay, and they even have console stuff too like PSN and Xbox prepaid cards as well. Activating Windows is super simple and only takes like 3 minutes total, so activate Windows today and remove that nasty watermark, and don't forget to use ZTT18 for 25% off. Starting with the bread and butter of any Office PC conversion project, here we have something kind of new, as this is the Dell Inspiron 3670, and this is rocking some very solid starting specs. Quick note, everything we're talking about today is down in the description. And for the CPU that's in here, we have an 8th gen Intel i5-8400, which was one of the most popular gaming CPUs back in the day, and this even came with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. But here's where the project took a complete turn for the worse. I actually completely broke one of the RAM slots on here, and I'll let this video explain everything that happened.
So this is a literal live reaction of what I just did to this Dell Inspiron. I got my music going, I was in the zone, get my vibes, and I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna upgrade this gaming PC, and I just removed one of the RAM sticks to confirm that they are indeed 8 gigabytes each. There's 2 RAM slots in here, and whenever I went to go reinstall this, I don't know if I'm just like eating too much protein or what, but I just completely smashed the motherboard and specifically the RAM slot, and I just broke the RAM slot off completely into like 10 different pieces. So that sucks. We're gonna have to go down to a single stick of RAM, which is gonna completely derail this upgrading process. The 1 channel versus 2, it's not gonna be a huge difference, but hopefully the motherboard's okay. But I just completely smashed it into all these pieces, and yeah, I'm not feeling too good about it, but I just wanted to whip out my phone here and give you guys my live reaction to what just happened. I messed up on this one.
Yup!
So I did end up trying to purchase a 1x16 gigabyte RAM stick, and I got this one from Micron off eBay for $35, but this actually wasn't working for us, and I never really had the chance to troubleshoot why. I'm sure there's some specific compatibility issue, or maybe the stick was just faulty when I bought it, who knows, but we did have to proceed with the project with only 8 gigabytes of RAM. If you're following this at home, just some quick notes here. A, don't smash the RAM in here like I did, and B, if you are following this, you're gonna get a little bit better performance than what I did if you have the full 2x8 gigabyte sticks of RAM as opposed to just 8 gigabyte. You'll see that in the benchmarking section here soon. Moving along though, we'll talk about storage for a bit, and this one actually came with a 256 gigabyte Samsung 2.5 inch SSD in there, which is great, but I wanted to add a little bit extra in there. The motherboard thankfully also came with an extra full-size 2280 M.2 SSD slot, so I threw in a NeTAC 500 gigabyte NVMe drive that I picked up for $25 brand new. Feel free to upgrade this to 1 terabyte right off the bat if you want to, and the Team Group MP33, Patriot P310, and Crucial P3 are all solid budget options. The type and amount of storage that these old Office OEM computers come with is usually all over the place. Sometimes it'll come with a nice SSD, sometimes it just comes with a bigger HDD in there, and sometimes it doesn't come with any storage at all. This is definitely one of those places where you have to keep your eyes peeled for value. And another place you have to keep those eyes peeled is definitely with the GPU power situation, as some builds will come with an extra 6 or 8 pin PCIe power cable for beefier GPUs, and sometimes they don't. This specific Dell Inspiron didn't come with one, so we're limited to the GPUs that don't require external power, but thankfully there there are some good options available these days. And yes, you do have the ability to use one of those SATA to 6-pin adapters, and I've used those before and haven't had any issues whatsoever, but that is still kind of frowned upon in our community because it's not the safest thing in the world to be doing, so only do that if you know the risks. And honestly, don't try to flip a PC with one of those adapters in there either. Again, you'll probably be fine, but you don't want to be the reason someone's house burned down. But in terms of which GPUs we do have available, for builds like this without external GPU power support, I've been flip-flopping between the NVIDIA GTX 1650 and the AMD RX 6400. Both perform pretty close to each other, and I actually did a full comparison in the video that's in the upper right-hand corner, but basically it comes down to if you want to buy a new or used graphics card. The RX 6400 is available every day of the week on Amazon for around $140 to $150. You get a warranty and the ability to return it, but on the flip side, the GTX 1650 is available on the used market for a good bit cheaper. I personally bought this NVIDIA OEM model with 4 gigabytes of VRAM for around $102 used on Mercari, and that's a pretty good deal for one that not only fits in a build like this, but also one that doesn't require that external power. And yes, you definitely can find better value graphics cards on the used market compared to this one, but ones like this that don't require external power and are small and able to fit in these smaller PCs, those usually cost a little bit more money than what they should. And moving on to the aesthetics real quickly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of this one here with the Black Panther theme, but the best part is that you can easily swap out these stickers and make this whatever theme you want. All it took was 6 or 7 coats of spray paint on the side panel and front panel. I didn't have to tape anything off this time, and then just find some black stickers to fill in some of these gaps. I do wish that the front panel sticker could have been sitting up a little bit higher, but the head of the Black Panther logo fit perfectly around the old Dell logo, so it covered it up real nicely there. Let me know down in the comments section for some more ideas on how to theme the next one, because I'm definitely doing this exact design in the future. All in all, here's what our final parts list is looking like, and as you can see, if we don't count the RAM stick that didn't work out for us, I ended up paying $267 for this little project before paying for the stickers, and we'll find out here in just a minute what kind of price performance we're looking at. I do want to quickly mention that I'm starting to see these i5-8400 OEM builds continue to drop in price, so it is definitely an exciting time for these budget gaming PCs. And also, there's a ton of room to snag a better GPU deal than what I did depending on your patience level. I would personally look on Jawa, eBay, and Mercari and just hawk the GTX 1650 search term until you find something good. And just in case you don't want to do all that, I will have this build for sale over on my website, zackstechdrift.com. This will be one of the limited one-of-one drops that I'll probably sell for like $200, but it'll sell real quickly on the April 1st restock. We do always have the Frost Nova and Deathstrike builds available though, if you don't want to wait for that. But moving on to performance, here's what this $267 build is capable of, and these results are pretty surprising. Remember that we're only using one stick of 8 gigabytes of RAM, so you'll get even better results with a full 2x8 gigabyte setup, which is what this build was supposed to be. We're not going to go through all these individually, but I do want to highlight a few. Here we're running Fortnite at our normal 1080p Pro settings, and we actually got a crazy 190 average FPS, which you'll love to see. Like I said, that i5-8400 was no joke back in the day, and clearly it can still hold its own in 2023. Next up, we have Apex Legends, which is a bit more graphically demanding, but still in 1080p with low settings, we got 91 FPS, which is still very solid for a sub $300 system. And finally, I did want to showcase a tougher to run game such as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and here we got super close to our 60 FPS target mark while using 1080p and minimum settings, but with that resolution scale bumped up to 100%. If you drop that down to like 90% or so, you'd easily be able to get a smooth 60 if you needed to. But here's what the full benchmarking charts are looking like. Shout out again to Sam for testing out 20 games for us, and honestly, I'm very happy with these numbers. Clearly, this 8400 can handle the lesser demanding esport games like Valorant and CSGO, but that OEM GTX 1650 can also handle the tougher games such as Forza Horizon 5. And if you do want to see a different way on how to convert one of these old office OEM PCs into a gaming PC, then feel free to click the video that's on the screen now.